Named the planet's most sustainable country in 2016, Slovenia is a country located at the southern central of Europe. This documentary will show and inform you about the beautiful cultural center Metelkova. Metelkova is a social and cultural center in the capital of Slovenia, Ljubljana. This area used to be a military headquarters for the army of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and after that the military headquarters of the Yugoslav National Army. The history of Metelkova Mesto as a cultural center goes back to 1993, when the northern part of the barracks complex was squatted by a group of about 200 volunteers following the initiative of an independent association of mainly underground artists and intellectuals, known as Metelkova Network, to stop the abandoned army complex from being pulled down. After that, the former army barracks, built in the late 19th century, were transformed through interventions by numerous renowned and little-known Slovenian artists. Being a thriving place for a free creative spirit, the complex is undergoing constant changes. Nowadays, many artists have their own ateliers in Metelkova, and some NGOs and LGBTQA associations have their offices there. The area defending feminism and LGBTQA communities is the reason why there are some attacks from neo-Nazi and skinhead groups. Those attempts of extremist groups add up to the uncertain future of Metelkova. Art exhibitions, performances, concerts and engaged activities have taken place in the buildings of Metelkova. There are three different areas: art and social life, civil engagement and commercial. These sub-entities can be seen through the arrival of institutional actors in the neighborhood, like the Museum of Contemporary Art, NGOs and Hostel Selika. With building this creative and cultural zone in the city, it creates a niche tourism. More and more people from all over the world visit this place to feel the vibe of Metelkova, in order to get the best Instagrammable picture for their social media. This leads to the problem of zooification, which describes that tourists are curious about local people and their way of life. The art and culture they create on site leads them to be the attraction for the visitor, but this situation cheapens and degrades the traditional artwork and quality of the area. Locals feel disturbed in their privacy about tourists who are taking pictures and make them feel like animals in the zoo. This stands in contrast with the institutional area, since Metelkova is claimed as a self-organizing autonomous area. Through the expansion of that area and promotion of the autonomous part by the museums, the institutional part takes advantage of the cultural zone's brand. This can damage the brand and art created by locals, but fits perfectly for museum exhibitions and attracting tourists. If the area would be legalized, this can cause damage to the character of site. Slovenia is one of the greenest countries in the world, and its capital, Ljubljana, was also appointed Europe's greenest capital in 2016 by the European Union. The Green Scheme of Slovenian Tourism is a national tool and certification program for promoting sustainable tourism in Slovenia. The Green Scheme of Slovenian Tourism aims to combine all efforts directed towards the sustainable development of tourism in Slovenia. The key strategic objective of the scheme is to introduce sustainable models to Slovenian tourism, tourism service providers and destinations. The government of the Republic of Slovenia remains strongly committed to the protection of the environment towards building an inclusive, sustainable and resilient future for people and the country. In October 2015, the government adopted the framework program for a transition to a green economy, which is low carbon, efficiently uses resources and is socially responsible.
After the separation of Yugoslavia in the early 90s, 1991 to be more specific, and the place was empty. So few artists most of the part. Few artists and musicians, young people came here, and instead of destroying this place, they decided to start spreading their subculture. So this could be a multicultural center for hanging out. So from 1993 until now, it's like that. There were a few attempts to destroy this place, and all the organizations that are working there, they're funded by the European Fund or something like that. Maybe that's the intention, yeah. And the location is great, so that's the whole idea. I mean, you know, the diversity, also the colors from the hostel. You see the red, I mean the pink. They're the colors of the diversity of the multicultural. Also the staff here, they're from all around Europe.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's nice here. I think a lot of creativity.
Yeah,
You call it? Yeah,
it's a creative place. You can relax.
You've been here before.
I've been here before,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Did anything change? Like how many years passed?
Yeah, it's, 5 years.
Okay.
It's the same. Yeah, it's in Denmark. It's bigger.
Was
It's
it,
much
what is
bigger.
it called again?
Christiania. Yeah, Freetown.
And then
Yeah.
Freetown in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
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 I think it's very nice that they have done this instead of a parking lot.
As we've already seen, this area is getting more and more visited among tourists, which can become attractive to legalize the place. This step would harm the community, as it would lose value in the reason why they created Metelkova. As a solution would be limiting the number of tourists to preserve the character of the site, as well as make it clearer that the area is important to many people of Ljubljana. It should be pointed out that people are not the attraction, and their privacy is crucial. The message must be spread among tour guides of the city to tourists visiting that area to prevent this problem from happening, and would stress out the artistic and cultural importance which that area offers. Moreover, this can be achieved by putting up boards with rules when entering clubs, events and exhibitions. The rule gives an indication that no one can do whatever they like. Yet, the police turns a blind eye to the drugs that are sold there. An example of a similar place is Christiania in Denmark. This place was also once a military barrack, but has turned into a cultural center. Over the years, these happy people turned into biker gangs and criminal activities, where they took advantage of the lack of presence from the police. Metelkova can prevent this by making clear that even though it is not completely controlled by the police, the area sticks to their values.